Been around the demand around police, but I wanted to ask, why did you demand, for instance, for the South Asian stage to come back and other Hindi stages, and also more support for deaf black folks?
Again, those demands were put forward by community. Our communities asked for those things. The demands that we created were not something where we sat in a room and decided this is what we wanted. When we had meetings with BQI, with Blockorama, with Blackness Yes, when we sat down and talked to them, those were the things that they said. They said we have to make sure that the South Asian stage is reinstated, that we have to make sure that communities have the right to choose when, where, and how their stages are going to look like. That was community coming together and demanding to make space for all marginalized communities, and understanding that even though we are fighting this for blackness, that there are other marginalized groups and vulnerable groups who are being erased by pride.
So what would you say to those who have come out saying that those demands at the parade were signed out of duress because it was essentially hijacked?
How we got this land?
Duress. I would say that is consistent with the experience of black people every day. I am less concerned with pride organizers who have been put in a position of responsibility where they need to be accountable to community members. Why is the question not what would cause a group of people, a group of black people, to put their very bodies on the line? For indigenous people to be in solidarity with us, for Latinx and South Asian people, we put our very bodies on the line to fight for something. That to me would indicate that we are under extreme duress constantly, that this is something that is consistent with our everyday. Again, what does it mean for me to be criminalized in the parade, where we were met with very aggressive behavior by cops, where our tables were questioned, we were continuously asked if we had the right permits, documentation. We were continuously harassed where no other table was. We had to get pride organizers to intervene consistently because these were not issues that they anticipated, but we did. So when you think about duress, ask the question instead, what would it take? How much oppression, how much injustice would it take for us to actually create the intervention that we did?
And also, I just want to do a replay back to the tape when Matthew first signed that document. He was smiling. He even hugged my compadre, my brother right on this side. He signed it with the clearest pen that you would ever find. We saw him very jovial when he signed this document. So to state that he was under duress, when we see on video, when we had conversations with them beforehand, where they told us explicitly that we support you and that we want you to do whatever you need to address the needs of your community, to have them both standing there smiling, saying this is what we can do, and saying 100% that your demands are realistic, that we can actually provide this and make this happen, to embracing us and saying, hey, we were actually able to work together, to 24 hours later for him stating that he was under duress. The evidence of that shares clearly that he was not.
Can I ask, you were very much working, you talked about the fact that your list of demands and asks all came out of conversations with your community, right? That's all developed through, it's not just like you said, a few people sitting in your room coming up with a list. This was based on your community. Is it not then right for Matthew to go back to his community, as it were, his board, to then present that list to them? Because he is only one man. Isn't the counter true that he should then go back to his community and put that list forward to them for more discussion? Or should it just be, I mean, it's not a legal document.
Right. We are his community. When we're queer and trans, and when the vast majority of members, not only in this chapter, but overall are queer and trans, we are his community. And really, no, we were not just a small group of people making decisions about what Pride was going to look like. That's Pride Toronto. That's who they are. We're something very different. We represent a vast amount of community, and we are speaking on behalf of those needs because of the platform that we were given. Because we are the honored group, and therefore we have to be honorable to the communities that we serve. That is the very reason why we're asked to be that in the first place. And so Matthew can continue to engage with his community, but we're asking, in fact, that he actually engages with the LGBT community, the community that he is said to serve. We ask that he open up the membership because it has been disabled, so that can actually happen.
I have a question. Pride is one of the biggest festivals, well, Toronto's Pride is the biggest in Canada, but as far as the city is concerned, Caravana is massive in this city, the kickoff of which was just this week. And I'm wondering if Black Lives Matter has had a discussion with the organizers of Caravana on Toronto Police's involvement and what that looks like.
Yeah. Again, another conversation that's been happening for years. And the Toronto Caribbean Festival is actually Caravana. And what we're talking about when we talk about having conversations with community, they are usually private conversations. So what we're discussing with the festival is between us as a group, and we'll see soon.
Any other questions?
Just before you wrap up, is it possible to have everyone who spoke today to come forward and just give first and last name?
Yeah.
Just so we have it.
My name is Alexandra. Would you like me to spell it as
Spell
well?
it,
Definitely.
Okay. My name is Alexandria Williams, Alexandria Williams, Williams, and I am one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter Toronto.
My name is Janaya Khan, JANAYAKHAN, and I am one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter Toronto.
My name is Rodney DeVerlis, RODNEYDIVERLUS, and I'm one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter Toronto. No?
Yeah, this gentleman back here.
Ronaldo, RINALDO, last name Walcott, WALCOTT.
And your title?
I am a professor
LG.
That too. I'm a professor at the University of Toronto. I'm the director of the Women and Gender Studies Institute, and I'm a member of the Anti-Black Racism Network, and I've been hanging out in the queer community for many years.
Yes.
The OG.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, thank you, folks.
Have a good
A number of
day.
us are going to stay
And it was
afterwards if
hot.
there's any.